It's a brand new day with Mo and News. It's time to have your say. She's got the scoop, the stories, all the latest trends. Mo's got the news, let's hear it. My dear friends, from politics to showbiz, no story's too small. Mo covers it all. She's got the inside call, her voice so smooth, like honey in the summer sun. With Mo on the mic, you know the news is always fun. Mornings with Mo, the best newsy news in the world. With her style so classic and her stories unfurled, from morning till night, she's got us in the know. Turn on your radio, let Mo's newsy news flow.
Hello, everyone. I've got someone who is trying to walk all over the keypad. So, good morning. It is Friday, the last day of May. Everyone get your glitter and your ear sets, your hearing protective gear before, the month of June is upon us. Okay, yes, I will let you go. Sorry. You can't sit on the keyboard. And thank you, Christine. I hope you're having a lovely day. And good morning to you, Wolfram, for doing all of the mod stuff. Fraud at Wrangler. I have some updates. I was not in the best place yesterday, to be honest with you. Figuring out that possibly the gold standard of treatment for CRPS is kind of fiscally out of sight for most of the people that suffer with it is a bit upsetting. Oh, awesome. You are having yeah. Let me know. Send me an invite. Wednesdays are the only nights I generally hold sacred because, Mr. Mo is like, can we have one night where we can watch Bobby Flay and be romantic with each other? And I'm like, you know how I feel about romance and marriage. Put on Bobby Flay, sir. I will sit back and we will both, joke about things that we're never going to buy or make. Unfortunately, the Bobby Flay rule was put in there because if a movie has any sort of plot point or plot hole, Mo will spend the entireness of the movie just saying, "This is stupid. Why didn't they do this?" Mr. Mo was not really proud of me doing that with Dune, so we picked safer stuff. In our first news, I would have to say that this is probably depressing, but again, it's flying. Apparently, flying has gotten so depressing that many people don't even want to join the Mile High Club anymore. This sounds like an American tradition that will go the way of the dodo bird. Boeing, how dare you take away, our ability to feel safe in an airplane? People aren't ready to take off, but should you have the smexy time? Joining the Mile High Club may seem easier to get into than most membership organizations. Yeah, the Boy Scouts really were. What? But it might not be worth the bragging rights. The Mile High Club, a cheeky nickname for a group of people who have done the beast with two backs while in flight, seems to be losing its status faster than a Soho house. Yeah, the lavatory has never seemed personally to be a place where I would hear Barry White music, but it takes all folks. As one flight attendant put it, cramped aircraft and stress of flying today have killed the mood. Flights are full, bathrooms are smaller, and there's less space on board. Passengers are more stressed out than ever, so no one's feeling very smexy. Of all things that Boeing has taken away from us, I feel like this should be the thing that gets, I don't know, them Demonetized, deplaned, really, how dare they? A flight attendant with a major U.S. carrier, Heather Pohl, the author of Cruising Altitude Tales of Crash Pads, Crew Drama, and Crazy Passengers at 35,000 feet, yeah, 35,000 feet, told foreigners, no one is walking on board thinking, let's get it on. At least I don't get that impression on my flights. But rumors of the Mile High Club have flown through the air since humans first took flight. Some turned on travelers are still trying to join the elite status, although it could be illegal. I mean, I don't know. Women's soccer has, I'm joking. The WNBA, we'll have to calculate that. It's going to take a lot of calculation by a lot of S posters on the internet, but we will get we will get that equation figured out. Let's see here. The legality of high-flying hanky-panky is still up in the air, depending on factors such as country of registration for the aircraft and operating airline, as well as the country the aircraft is flying over. But some frisky flyers are still willing to get uh, together. Earlier this year, a man from Detroit was hit with federal charges after he allegedly drunkenly propositioned two flight attendants twice about joining the Mile High Club. I mean, sir, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Unfortunately, you also miss 99.9% of the shots that you do take. So he was arrested on one count of interference with a flight crew and a charge that could carry up to 20 years in jail. However, plenty of others, including celebrities, claim to have joined the club. Drew Barrymore, Christina Aguilera recently boasted about their membership and encouraged other people to sign up. If you're curious, like, why are people doing it? I'm telling you, elevation, it feels different. Drew Barrymore, are you sober? No, no, oh, for the love of it feels different and I can't recommend it more. Sorry, FAA. Now, there are a little bit of different rules if you have a private plane, if you chartered that, I'm sure they don't care what you're doing. But, I don't live in that club, so where are you gonna go? It's assumed that celebrity members of the Mile High Club were flying private during their mid-air romps, but as a majority of the public fly commercial, the best most couples have is sneaking into the bathroom together, where 59% of in-flight rendezvous happen. Okay, where does the other 41% happen? I mean, if that's what happens, if do you need a blanket and a pillow? If that's a code word, I think I need people to explain these things. I am not sure. Oh my gosh. Uh, but slipping two people into an airplane bathroom, typically located in the middle aisle or to the next to the flight attendant's galley, isn't a simple task, especially in today's share all world. Those passengers attempting to join the Mile High Club, I'd like to say good luck not going viral on social media. Everyone's quick to film anything that looks out of the ordinary. Unless you're an exhibitionist, then Godspeed, brave warrior, because holy fizzolis. I mean, how depressing does our timeline have to be that no one wants to join the Mile High Club anymore? In other news, we have, well, your crazy ex-girlfriend has gotten another good woman in orange. Powerlifting legend Steffi Cohen, accused of hacking ex-boyfriend's laptop and posting quote unquote humiliating, not clothed naked pictures of his new girlfriend. Oh, when you're hoisted on your own petard of, ladyist justice, and you're the one making the revenge prawn. Interesting. Professional boxer and powerlifting world record holder Stephanie Cohen allegedly hacked into her ex-boyfriend's laptop. See, this is what you get when more women get into STEM. You're just gonna have more women that can hack into your computer. I mean, not me, I can't, but, I'm probably the safest you're ever gonna be from revenge anything. Uh, Now she got into her ex-boyfriend's laptop and posted the new naked photos that he took of his, well, current girlfriend with the goal of exposing and humiliating her. Cohen, 32, faces a felony charge of unauthorized access to a computer, a misdemeanor sexual cyber harassment charge, criminal mischief, and resisting arrest without violence, according to NBC6. Cohen, whose full name is Stephanie Cohen Maggiorisi, accessed her ex-boyfriend's laptop when he left it behind in a house he used to live with her in. So she didn't hack it like white hat, black hat. It's he left the lap. Hunter Biden, dear, stop leaving your laptops everywhere if you're gonna have the naked pictures on them. It's a thing that I live by, but if you're gonna have nudes, make sure you take the laptop with you. Uh, so this is according to an arrest report obtained by, this outlet. The powerlifting influencer who has over 1,000,000 followers on Instagram. I mean, she looks like she doesn't skip leg day. She does wear socks with sandals, though, so I don't know where that leaves us in the whole fashion thing, and she's wearing a Carhartt jacket with a sports bra, as I do every time I have to do laundry. This is my typical, laundry day outfit. Uh, Correctly guessed her ex-boyfriend's Apple iCloud account password and allegedly found some new in the buff photos of his current girlfriend. The Venezuelan-born boxer allegedly shared the images in a group chat with the woman and several other girls. According to the outlet, the victim told police Cohen said to her she was sending the photos with the purpose of humiliating and exposing her. The victim and Cohen's ex-boyfriend reported the incident to Miami detectives in November 2023. According to the police, Miami police arrested Cohen on Tuesday at her home in Coconut Grove. However, the pro boxer did not comply and began walking at a fast pace back to her residence. Yeah, when you have to speed walk away from the police, possibly not going to help you. She allegedly resisted as two officers were able to get her in handcuffs, but Cohen placed a right leg hook on one of the officers, sweeping him off his feet. Well, I mean, if you don't use your jujitsu skills, you'll lose them. Possibly not with the feds, but hey, it is what it is. Cohen was finally placed in the back of a squad car where she began to place her right leg on the latch to unlock the door and grabbed it with her toes. All right. I would like actually to see her try to MacGyver slash Houdini her way out of the backseat of a car. I'd pay like $10 to see that. But if she has those long, weird finger toes, I'm out. I saw enough of that in Kill Bill with Uma Thurman. Quentin Tarantino, get help. No one wants to stare at Uma Thurman's toes that much, except you. It's a very small party of just you. Uh, she then pulled the latch with her toes, intentionally broke the locking system, and caused the door not to lock at all. I mean, I don't know, but I would put that in my LinkedIn account as a talent, like finger toes. No one can jail me. But it isn't all, sad face because she looks really happy and she does look okay in orange. So there you go. Fraud at Wrangler. Me either, but Quentin Tarantino and all those who enjoy feet should be should be shamed just a little bit. She was booked at the Turner Guilford Night Correctional Center, but after her hearing Wednesday, she was granted a $3,300 bond and told to stay away from her ex boyfriend and his girlfriend. She is scheduled to appear in court again on June 27th. Well, I mean, she at least doesn't skip leg day. She does do a sumo squat. I need to see her conventional lift before, we talk about how awesome that is, but we shall see. Cohen has a boxing record of 4-1-1 with her most recent fight in June 2023. The Venezuelan native is a 25-time world record-breaking powerlifter. I mean, that's that's a pretty good amount of weight. I just I do not know. She holds the all-time records for the squat, total, and deadlift for the 223-pound weight class, according to Men's Health. She competed in powerlifting competitions from 2015 to 2020, according to Open Powerlifting. So there you go. I mean, at least she won't have to wait to prison to get her, six pack. In Lord Chippy, your next contestant awaits you. Surprising no one, uh, doomsday cult author Chad Daybell is guilty of both butchering the English language and the realm of fiction, and of unaliving his wife, his first wife, and Lori Vallow's children. Playing devil advocate here, but she doesn't strike me as the ex you want to screw over. No, no, she doesn't. But what you have to do is wait till after she's gone big and hard on leg day, and then you just take the laptop and you run because you are not walking after you get a personal record. You're too busy eating. Leg day is the hungriest you will be outside of like having twins or triplets and just being pregnant with them. On two different days in September 2019, Chad Guy Daybell, 55, unalived his second wife's children on October 2019. He also unalived his first wife, a jury in Ada County, Idaho, determined on Thursday. The defendant conspired with his second wife, convicted killer Lori Vallow, 50 years old, to unalive his first wife, Tamara Tammy Daybell, 49, and Tylee Ashley Ryan, 16, Vallow's biological daughter from a previous marriage, and Joshua Jackson, or JJ Vallow, 7, Vallow's adopted son. Now, I didn't think that this was a case that was going to be, sort of on the, cusp. I really did think, holy cow, Erin Olivia, you've been a member for 5 months. That is awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate that I have all of you people that I can, find all of my crazy news and talk to. It is absolutely awesome that I found this. So, while getting complex regional pain syndrome has been a bit of a stop, one of the things that I'm slowly learning is that, for a couple of years, I was, praying, okay, can you take this away? Can I stop having this? And I was always kind of disappointed when God would just say no, or it didn't seem like he was listening. I will say that my life, this has been proved, and I don't know about anyone else. God often tells you no because he is going to be saying yes to something you haven't even thought to pray for, something that you never thought would be something for you. And had I not gotten hurt, I probably wouldn't have started a YouTube channel. I probably would be a substitute teacher for my kids' school system. So maybe whatever you're struggling with right now, whatever the universe is telling you no to, maybe God and things around your life are getting ready to say yes to something you'd never thought to even ask for. That's my one pearl of wisdom in my Bobby Hill shirt. So take take that wisdom as you'd like. But I will say I feel really bad for Chad Daybell's kids because I can't imagine having to come to the stark realization that your father unalived your mother, the woman he, professed to love and be in an eternal marriage with until, he gains godship of his own planet. I will say that that has to be just soul destroying to realize that your dad broke all of his vows for Lori Daybell. Uh, So he was found guilty on all the indicted counts against him, including multiple counts of insurance fraud, conspiracy to commit murder, conspiracy to commit grand theft by deception. After 5 hours and 48 minutes of deliberations that began late Wednesday afternoon, 12 jurors decided Daybell's fate. The timestamp on the reading of their decision was just after 2 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. The defendant appeared still as the verdicts were read. The children disappeared and were considered missing for some time before the horrible truth became clear that they were both no longer living. Uh, Now, with one right after the other kind of leaving and disappearing, it's yeah, well, and that's the thing. I will say, look, I am not a member of the LDS faith. So I may be getting this completely wrong, and I don't hold myself as an expert. But I do think that if you open the door for everyday people to become current day prophets, you do kind of have a fertile ground. Well, I have all the time, but I'm a grammar outlaw. Thank you for the super chat, Zach. What I will say is that if your religious teachings, show that you can claim prophethood, just out of the blue, I do think that there will always be people that will exploit certain things, certain weaknesses for unscrupulous power dynamics. But I mean, that can happen in any religion. Tylee was last seen alive in a photograph taken at Yellowstone National Park on September 8th, 2019. During Daybell's trial, it was established that JJ was unalive sometime during the early morning hours of September 23rd, 2019. Tammy Daybell died on October 19th, 2019. Vallow was initially arrested in Hawaii in February 2020 on charges of child desertion. Daybell was arrested in June 2020 after the children's body were found buried on his property. So, honest to goodness, I don't think that this gentleman is going to have a good time in prison. I don't think that child unalivers tend to have a good time, especially with that derpy derp face that he has. I mean, sir, you could have worked on your lats at least. You have no chin, but you could have at least gotten shoulders, but you know, you know. Now, I will say that I wonder if the defense thought that separating the cases would work better for him. I am not sure. And the way that he spoke about his wife and all of her faults and failings were just absolutely gross. Like she's lazy and sh- ma'am, ma'am had 5 children and raised them and then worked on the editing platform, the publishing where you self-published your weird rantings of a madman. I mean, she stuck with you for a whole long time, even with that derpy face. During the trial, Melanie Gibb, a former devoted family friend, reprised her prior testimony from Vallow April 2023 or 2020 23 trial. I can speak English. I do some days. Discussing the details about the killer's bizarre post Mormon belief system and how those beliefs became real world nightmares for the victims. I will say probably the most powerful moment was when Tammy's sister, uh, basically got up there and said, "Tammy was fine, Tammy was great. I always thought that, Chad was a little, mm." But I am glad that now what we can have on earth as far as justice is here. Unfortunately, does that bring back the people? No. But never again can he say he holds the moral high ground. I don't know I the absolute stupidity that these 2 together with their powers combined created the dumbest cult ever. D I mean, just dumb. Now, the sentencing phase will start after 3 PM, Thursday, so that's yesterday. They were in the innocence or guilt phase, but now he is going to be in the penalty phase. Now, I do believe that he does have a chance to get the penalty of deathness, if you will, but I do think he deserves it. I think that had Lori not met him, she would have remained, normal Lori level of crazy. And I think if he hadn't met her, now there's a term called folie à deux, which basically means the madness of two, and they could probably try to use that as a mitigating factor, but he was the foundation from which all the crazy came. He was the one that started this whole dark and, light kind of dichotomy. He was the one from which all the things seem to flow from this. So I do think that they can show that he is the mastermind and possibly the catalyst for not only, you know, Charlie Vallow's death, but all of them. I don't think that, and there has been evidence that he kind of used this "we were married in a past life" to other chicks. Now, call me crazy, but if I'm at a book fair and some author says, we were married in a past life and we will be again someday," I'd say, "Well, been interesting. Here's your hug jacket." And I mean, I don't know, but I'm a little bit crazy, so seems like you'd take your exit ramp, and not want to be married to me again. But okay. I hope that he does get the death penalty. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think this was cold and calculated on his part. I think Lori Vallow, drank the Kool-Aid, was there in Jonestown in Guyana, and she would have been, down for sound with anything. But I think he is the mastermind. He saw the weaknesses, and I don't even know that he has anything in his past that can mitigate. But that's just my opinion. I mean, the real lawyers are gonna lawyer about stuff. In other news, what are the things that celebrities try really hard to get edited in their wax statues for, Madame Tussauds wax figurines? I mean, I would say make me look like Halle Berry, but that's not really cool. Nice figure. Over 2 decades, Madame Tussauds has been a Times Square institution, luring tourists and locals alike with its collection of 200 plus lifelike celebrity replicas. Now on West 49th Street, Waxworks is giving visitors in a peek behind, how these are made, with an all access pass, allowing curious people to delve into the everyday kind of decisions that go into making some of these replicas. The 30 minutes behind the scenes tour admits guests to the studio workshop floor where artists go about their daily job of handling, urgently repairing, and creating figures to fill the exhibition halls. The cost of the tour is $12 above the base price ticket. General admission begins at $29.99 for the tri-state residents. I mean, I'd pay more just to see people doing weird things. Sounds like my entire life. And there's no posting for clout either. All phones and recording devices must be checked at the studio door before entering. Once you're in, you will find a team of creatives more than happy to share what a day in the life of a wax worker, including working with a parade of coveted celebrity clients, actually look like. Celebrities are often incredibly involved and committed to their inanimate clones. Wait, you're saying that people who play adult pretenders are very interested in their image? It maths out. Uh, let's see here. Studio manager Matthew Hilshorst told the Post that many A-listers are very particular about how their figure is dressed. I don't know if I'd say nitpicky, but it's more of seeking perfection, uh, as Horshot laughed. Interactions with big shots span from exhilarating to outrageous. I mean, this is just, they look really creepy. It's that uncanny valley sort of area that I'm just like, who thought of this and how high were they? Taylor Swift, the main attraction on Madame Tussauds ground level, insisted on being displayed in her actual purple New York University honorary graduate outfit. Okay. It's such a hit that people leave the Eras Tour friendship bracelets on the wrist of Swift's figure, something uncommon with other mannequins, including Donald Trump and Joe Biden. Swift has also donned a dress and guitar from her tour. Weird. There we go. Sophia Varga, look, that chick. The celebrity will typically donate an outfit, the manager said. This actress has two wax figures, but the one in a silver Marchesa gown that she wore to the 2012 Met Gala. Well, there you go. Bad Bunny. I didn't know this was an actual real person, but okay. Meanwhile, rapper Bad Bunny is draped in his Super Bowl live, uh, his Super Bowl outfit, alongside Jennifer Lopez, Shakira, and J Belvin. They always request generally what they're going to wear. We can suggest, but whatever they say goes. Megan the Stallion, who is confused with equestrian biology, making the mannequins is a weeks long process that typically involves a 6-hour sit down with celebrity holding poses, but Megan the Stallion was extra committed. The singer was so obsessed that she voluntarily spent 14 hours in multiple poses and looks. Eh, yeah, really. Can you just give me the abs that I so desire to be delivered from, Amazon? Anything else, I'm okay. Uh, Jennifer Hudson, like with most celebrity projects, big personalities sometimes insist on big changes at the last minute. Jennifer Hudson, after we had made her figure, she wanted her nails to be a little different. So we sent her hands to a nail tech in Chicago to have her nails done to look like what they did in the 2021 Met Gala. Interesting. Not creepy at all. Wendy Williams Wendy Williams bought her figure a ring, the manager said. So we swapped out the jewelry on her so that the figure could be wearing that new ring. I thee wed myself. This is not creepy at all. Aquafina, um, after butchering the scuttlebutt from the new Little Mermaid, apparently this is the only place where Aquafina has been able to catch some respite, so I don't know if this is actually her or a wax figure. I'm joking, but if you ever need to possibly hurt someone in the earbud, variety, make them listen to the scuttlebutt from the new Little Mermaid. That is audio cancer. I don't even know. Your soul will come out of your body, it's so bad. It's common for celebs to be beside their wax figure's head, separated only by a partition during the hours-long sculpting. However, when it's Aquafina's turn, she wanted a face-to-face with herself and have nothing between them. No, I don't need to look at myself. Just okay, newsflash. Adult pretenders are weird. If you would like to see all the adult pretenders in the wax museum and be scared to death, then I say go. But otherwise, it's just people, adult pretenders being, well, upset that, they actually have to sort of rely on the truth with these things. Where was I? Uh, in Georgia, looks like a stalker will be getting life in prison, and I'm kind of okay with it. With a face like this, I mean, who really needs to ask Lord Chippy if there's any questions? A Georgia man convicted of stalking a 15-year-old girl on Snapchat before brutally attacking her in her family's home has been sentenced to life in prison after pleading guilty. Court records show Zachary Iona, 22, met the victim on a smartphone app in 2022 and groomed her until she invited him over. He arrived with duct tape, rope, and a knife, then gagged her and assaulted her before stabbing her 86 times all over her body, to include her face, according to local reports. Sir, you better hope Lord Chippy is an option, because your time in Gen Pop is not going to go very well, and you look like you have the calves of Chandler Halderson. So, yikes! It's going to be a bad day for you. Iona then left the severely injured girl for dead. However, she had the strength to call 911. She survived the horror and spoke at his sentencing, telling the court she considers it a blessing to be alive. According to Fox 5 Atlanta, the app Iona used to find his victim is how the police tracked him down, according to authorities. They found a picture of him on her phone. They then found evidence in his car, including a roll of duct tape and blood. He pled guilty to all charges in a 7-count indictment Thursday. The charges included rape, aggravated assault, and carrying a knife while committing a felony. As part of the plea deal, Iona will be eligible for release after serving 35 years, followed by 5 years of parole, and he has to register. I mean, Fundian, honestly, half of the stories I was pulling this morning is like Lord Chippy contestants. So I guess they met on Snapchat. The terms of the deal will also ban him from contacting anyone under the age of 18 or even possessing pictures of children. This should be a warning to our young people to be aware, Gwinnett County District Attorney Patsy Austin Gadsden told Atlanta Journal-Constitution. As this case demonstrates, not everyone you meet on social media has your best interests at heart. Social media accounts under Iona's name show that he attempted to attract an online audience with music and gaming videos, but had just a couple hundred followers. Ouch. Now they're talking about your sub count, sir. The victim reportedly had to undergo multiple surgeries and physical therapy to regain her ability to walk. The National Center for Missing and Exploited Children has warned of a growing threat involving minors targeted online by strangers. Y'all, do you remember when AOL was still a disc you were sent in the mail, and you were basically told, like, "We don't give our names out, we don't give our any information." Now it's like, "Hey, have you heard my Social Security card number? And I also ate, you know, I ate meat during Lent, so really I'm terrible." I mean, squid pro quo, we will get you beyond weird guy. Everyone go sub to, Squid Pro Quo so she can have all of I also met my husband online, but yeah, remember when you weren't supposed to ever say, like, any personal information because we all just understood that most of the internet was gonna be used by, well, by gross people and normal people, but there you go. Stacey Sheehan, the organization's vice president, told Fox 5 that predators are increasingly picking up their child victims in person after meeting them through apps. Children are being enticed, she said. The victims are more often girls than boys. However, boys are being increasingly targeted under sextortion schemes over the app. Crooks coax victims into sharing personal information, including nude photos, then threaten them and demand money. Parents, it is difficult, especially if you are tech, well, challenged like me, but keep a tab on what your kids are doing online. This isn't, the internet can be used for some good things, but there are so many really disgusting, gross people that you need to teach your kids about, not putting everything online. S- I'm glad that she got her day of justice. I mean, big props to this teen victim that had the strength and will and the bravery to stand in front of her attacker and, give her victim's impact statement to the entire court. But, sir, you are gonna have a terrible time in Gen Pop, and I hope they keep you right there, because 'cause I'm okay with it. Uh, as I said, this apparently is just Lord Chippy take a number. The bad breath rapist caught across the country after 16 years on the run. So, I mean, I guess it's better to be known as the bad breath, grapist than, the Golden Gate grapist was known for having a micropene. So, there you go. I guess it's better to be known for halitosis than microsis. The convicted rapist, dubbed the bad breath rapist, has been caught more than 16 years after he fled Massachusetts, according to authorities. Tian Li, who was arrested in Northern California on Tuesday, broke into a coworker's house and raped her on February 2nd, 2005, according to Massachusetts State Police. He was ultimately identified by DNA and his horrible breath, which produced the nickname the Bad Breath Rapist, police said in a statement. In 2017, no, in 2007, a jury found Lee guilty of the rape and kidnapping, according to U.S. Marshal Service, but he had already fled the state. Authorities hunted Lee for years, with detectives putting in hundreds of hours into the search, police said. Investigators also publicized the case on the TV show America's Most Wanted, according to the police. Then this year, the police zeroed in on the a multi-million dollar home. Well, you can lead a horticulture, but you can't make her think. True. True. And thank you for the super chat, Zach. They owned by a woman in Diablo, California. I mean, swear to goodness, I don't know how the Babylon Bee survives anymore because this has to be parody on farce. I mean, they found him in Diablo, California, about 25 miles east of Oakland. On Tuesday, police surveilled Lee and a woman leave the home, and they conducted a traffic stop on their car. Lee gave the authorities a fake name, and state police said, hey, we're gonna fingerprint you. Do you think that's gonna fly? And he was like, dang it. His female companion, after 15 years of being together in California, never really knew who he was, state police said. Tian Li was on the run for more than 16 years, and the unwavering dedication by law enforcement to locate him and arrest him hopefully brings peace of mind to the victim and her family. Chief Inspector Sean Lopiccolo, acting as commander of the U.S. Marshal Service Southwest Regional Fugitive Task Force. When your name takes up an entire sentence, it's no longer, descriptive, said in a statement. And thank you, Squab Bob, for gifting one membership, and it went to Bush McFadden. So thank you so much again, Squab Bob, and Bush, give Squab Bob a thank you. Stop eating all the Tic Tacs. You're gonna get sick. Not y'all. Youngest Most Feral is just like pounding down Tic Tacs as per usual. Let's see here. I am kind of okay with this. As I said, this is a heavy on Lord Chippy sort of day. Controversial law that will surgically castrate people who are not allowed to live near school districts in Louisiana could soon be a reality. Let me look. I find no F's to give with this law coming into reality. But I did check and I found no damns to give. A proposed bill in Louisiana intended to surgically castrate people age 17 and older who are convicted with child grossness could soon become a law. The bill is known as Senate Bill 371 and is sponsored by Louisiana Senator Regina Bauer, a Democrat. It passed the state's House of Representatives roughly a week ago with 74 yays and 24 nays. Now, I need to check those 24 nays, and we need to see where they live. The Senate passed the bill 29-9, and now it will be up to Republican Governor Jeff Landry to sign it or cast it aside with a veto. It would apply to both men and women. I'm kind of okay with that. In Louisiana, chemical castration for a specific set of really disgusting crimes has been legal since 2008. But under the terms of SB 371, it would empower state judges to sentence certain convicted gross people, defendants, to undergo surgical castration or spend another 3 to 5 years in prison. Whereas chemical castration involves a patient taking drugs, injections, or subcutaneous implants to reduce the impact of their hormone levels on the 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 marriage bait and tackle, if you will. Per the bill, the procedure would be conducted by a licensed health professional. Well, I mean, why not let them, use student teachers? I'm okay with that one. And must occur no less than 1 week before the convicted person's schedule of release. The proposed law further provides that if an offender fails to appear or refuses to go with the procedure, the offender may be charged with failure to comply with a court order and sentenced to imprisonment for another 3 to 5 years without the benefit of parole, probation, or suspicion of sentence, the law states. The Louisiana legislation is not clear on whether a person who chooses to serve the extra time is allowed to go free without castration of any kind. I'd nail that down if and thank you, Tracy, for being a member for 2 months, and I mean, I'm okay with that. Unfortunately, yes, it doesn't. I really think that we should have 2 different communes, one for men, one for women, and, if you're convicted of these crimes, you go live in that commune. You can be free to be whatever you wanna be in that commune, but we can't trust you around kids or children or anything anymore. The legislation stipulates that the procedure will only be undertaken where medically appropriate and adds that it is contingent upon a determination by a court appointed medical expert that the defendant is an appropriate candidate for the surgery, which the determination must be made 60 days prior to the imposition of a sentence. So I'm guessing 60 days, before they are possibly going to get out. A trained health professional will say whether this would actually help them at all. The bill came up in the House. The Louisiana Illuminator reported it was only passed after legislators agreed it would be limited to offenders ages 17 and up. Rep. Delisha Boyd, a Democrat who championed the legislation in the state House, said the state was meant to protect young people from predators. We have to stand and fight for the children, she said. To emphasize her point, Boyd pointed to a case involving a registered person, Christopher Francis, 51 years old, from Baton Rouge, who was arrested earlier this month for the alleged assault of a 12-year-old girl in the summer of 2023. The Advocate reported on May 10th that the police were not tipped off to the alleged attack until August 2023. It was not until April of this year that an arrest warrant was issued. Prosecutors said that long before Francis allegedly assaulted the 12-year-old, he'd committed another aggravated assault against a 5-year-old. Y'all, nope. I need a Lord Chippy stinger like no one's business, but no, just no. You have given up your rights to the human race, and you are gross, corroded trash water or that disgusting film that gets on top of pudding. Pudding is also always already gross in Moe's world, so the weird kind of film on top of pudding, mm-mm. That charge, however, was downgraded to indecent behavior with a juvenile. It is unclear why, and prosecutors did not immediately return a request for comment. Francis was arrested again in 2022 after he failed to register as an offender. He is now facing 2 counts of really gross behavior with juveniles. Proponents of SB 371 say it will stop or greatly reduce. I don't think it will greatly reduce. I think it's more punitive. And honest to goodness, if I were running the world, you've already proved that this world we can't trust you in this world. You've already proven that. So unless you would like Lord Chippy to have all the contestants, we make a commune, one for men, one for women, but we can't trust you in the tribe anymore. No. I mean, I'm okay with Pinochet, helicopter rides, if you will. I'll have to look that up. I have not. But yeah, I definitely want to see if this would actually help people or if this is just going to be another level of bureaucracy that does nothing. But I definitely think once you have done a crime against children of this nature, then we can't have you in the human tribe anymore. You can go be by yourself, but there is, you have broken a sacred vow to keep children safe. A professor at Johns Hopkins School of Medicine told the Washington Post Then that there was a high degree of folklore about what castration does and doesn't do, and castration as a treatment option for offenders has been popularized based on most people's false understanding of how castration works. Part of the issue is timing. For example, if a man is castrated long after he's entered puberty, he can still manage to stiffen up. All that change uh, all it changes is a diminished drive since surgical, that he only his berries are gone. Testosterone is still produced in the adrenal glands, although only a small amount. Surgical castration in a woman would involve the removal of her ovaries, since that's where the female body's estrogen is produced. But like men, some estrogen also shows up in the adrenal glands. A special article published by the Journal of American Academy of Psychiatry and Law in 2005 found that while surgical castration indicated lower rates of recidivism, in its conclusion, the authors noted it wasn't definitive. Researchers admitted to key shortcomings in the conclusion. The recidivism percentages were calculated from groups of highly variable castrated offenders whose type of offenses and conditions of release were not well specified, and the current pattern of offending suggests an ingrained nature of deviant interests. Castration alone, without the attendant psychological change, the paper found, may be insufficient to mitigate recidivism in a person who is in the community and subject to temptations, suggesting that the root of the offender's issue may be in the brain and not the. I mean, are we talking about lobotomies then? I mean, if it's all in my head. I'm reminded quite forcefully of a Fiona Apple lyric. He said, "It's all in my head," and I said, "So's everything," and he didn't get it. I mean, I'm okay with, like, pre-criming these people and keeping them in a medically induced coma until such time as future crime is able to take care of things. It's probably the last, oh gosh, what's his name? Tom Cruise movie I watched without protest. But I do feel like this is a Band-Aid over a Band-Aid over a Band-Aid, and I think if we're not really going to look at the key, drivers of this behavior, what causes these paraphilias to actually be created, then what we are doing is basically another form of lip service that feels good, but isn't going to help the real victims. But that's just my opinion, and I'm a redhead who wears Bobby Hill, Hawaiian shirts. Minority Report, that's the name of the damn movie. Yeah, I'm okay with, people being Minority Reported. Allegedly in Minecraft. Now, in a update to a story that I have been following along here, but this woman, this um, throw mama from the train looking woman, finally got sentenced today. So Desiree Figueroa on the left is the younger woman, and her mother, Clarissa Figueroa, were in trouble because Clarissa, yes, the one in the teal tank top, claimed she was pregnant when she was not and tried to unalive a random pregnant woman that she invited to her house with offers of um like free clothing, things like that. I mean, absolute disgusting human being. And I still say, yeah, yeah, definitely needs to go directly to Snake Island. When Desiree Figueroa spoke at her sentencing Thursday in Chicago, Illinois courtroom for helping unalive a pregnant woman, Marlene Ochoa Lopez, 19. She acknowledged, "I can never apologize enough for what I did," according to Chicago outlet WGN. Judge Peggy Chipamas threw that phrasing back at her and offered no solace to the defendant as she sentenced her for 30 years in prison. "Your mom put you in the position you were in, and so did you," the judge said. "You're right. You can never apologize. I want you to live with that for the rest of your life." The defendant's mother, Clarissa Figueroa, lured the victim, Marlene Ochoa Lopez, 19, to her Chicago home in April 2019 by offering her free baby clothes. At one point, Marlene was 9 months pregnant at that point and looking at a photo album featuring the elder Figueroa's recently deceased son. Figueroa used this moment to begin strangling her with a coaxial cable. According to prosecutors, Ochoa Lopez managed to get her hand under the cable, and Clarissa Figueroa called out to her daughter and co defendant, Desiree, "You're not doing your effing job." One by one, the various defendants folded under prosecution. Police caught the elder Figueroa's boyfriend, Pitar Bobek, hosing off a rug with bleach. He later pled guilty to a charge of concealing homicide and was sentenced to 4 years in prison. Desiree took a plea deal for 30 years in prison in exchange for testifying against Clarissa Figueroa if the case reached trial. It never did. The murderous mother took a plea deal for 50 years behind bars. Quote, "Your punishment will never be enough because my son will never be able to hug his mother ever again," the child's father, who is named Giovanni Lopez, wrote in a statement read ahead of Clarissa Figueroa's sentencing, according to Chicago ABC affiliate WLS in April. "I cannot bear to be in the courtroom where I have to share the same air with the monster that strangled my wife while her mother ripped my baby son out of her body," he said in a statement, according to WGN. Honestly, y'all, I would not be able to do that. The people, the brave people that can go into a courtroom and, really give those impact statements, because y'all, I am not a fast person anymore, but I would be taking agility training if if I were given the choice, because I'd get a good flying leap tackle in, allegedly in Minecraft. "I cannot bear to look at this monster, knowing that one day she will be released back into our community, where she can harm someone again. I cannot bear to look at this monster who choked and choked and choked my wife until her life was gone. I cannot bear this agony." The younger Figueroa received 1,843 days of time served credit. The years of her sentence are, quote, "not enough time for this demonic woman who is a threat to our society," said Julie Contreras, a pastor for the United Giving Hope and and spokesperson for Ochoa Lopez's family, according to WGN. Oh, yes, we can definitely do that. And this this woman who looks like Jabba the Hutt was trying to claim that she was pregnant. Ma'am, you are on the wrong side of 50 to be having a change of life baby. And your beard, even though you shaved it off, we can still see it. Ugh, just two gross people. And I do hope that the family can get a little bit of comfort in the justice that we can exact here on earth, and hopefully find a little bit of peace with this. Now, in judges doing whatever the hell they want, apparently, I don't know if you guys got as geeked out into this case as I did when I was, well, admittedly too young to be looking at true crime, but this will be A judge is considering recalling death sentence of the man who unalived Polly Klaas. Now, this was right around the time that Mo got really into unsolved mysteries, FBI files, and oh gosh, forensic files. But this was a giant case. And if we are going to let this man out, I will lose my ever-loving mind. Actually, I think he was already taken care of by the state, but let me refresh my mind because it's been a couple years since I went really crazy into this. San Jose, California, a California judge will consider Friday whether to recall the death sentence against Richard Allen Davis, who in 1993 attacked, assaulted, and unalived Polly Klaas after kidnapping her from her bedroom at knife point in a crime that shocked the nation. Jurors in 1996 found Davis guilty of first-degree murder with the special circumstances of kidnapping, burglary, robbery, and attempting a lewd act on a child. Davis, who had an extensive kidnapping and assault record going back to the 1970s, was sentenced to death. Davis's attorneys argued in a February court filing that his death sentence should be recalled because of recent changes to California sentencing laws. Now, this is some dumb stuff. I say we give people 10 years. You have 10 years to appeal. I know that there is, you know, people kind of iffy as to whether or not, the state gets the right person. But in cases like this, can we not fast track this? Because we had the DNA, we had the blood typing, we had him confessing. I mean, the man all but did it like on television for how much solid evidence we have. Do Is it now, a gajillion years later and he's still living? I am so done with this. Either actually enforce things or don't have them on the books. It's just really dumb. Davis's okay, let's see. They also noted California's current moratorium on the death penalty. In 2019, California Governor Gavin Newsom placed a moratorium on executions, calling the death penalty, quote unquote, a failure that has discriminated against defendants who are mentally ill, Black or brown, and can't afford expensive legal representation. A future governor could change that policy. The Sonoma County District Attorney's Office said that Davis's attorneys' arguments were nonsensical and that the laws they are citing do not apply to Davis's death sentence for Polly Klaas's murder. Davis kidnapped Klaas from her bedroom in Petaluma, 40 miles or 64 kilometers north of San Francisco, in October 1993 and strangled her to death. That night, she and two friends of hers had a sleepover party at her mother's house, and the mother was having a bit of a migraine, so she fell asleep. And this jackface was able to climb into Polly's room, take her, and tie up and, basically scare the living daylights out of the other two children. Let's see, Klaas's disappearance touched off a nationwide search by thousands of volunteers. Davis was arrested 2 months later and led police to the child's body, which was found in a shallow grave 50 miles or 80 kilometers north of her home in Sonoma County. The case was a major driver behind California's passage of the so-called Three Strikes You're Out law in 1994 that set longer sentences for repeat offenders. Lawmakers and voters approved the proposal. California has not unalived anyone in the judicial sense since 2006, while Arnold Schwarzenegger was the governor. And though voters in 2016 narrowly approved a ballot measure to speed up punishment, no condemned inmate faced imminent execution. Since California's last execution, its death row population has grown to house one of every 4 condemned inmates in the United States. This was an open and shut case. This man, confessed. They had all the info, and my heart goes out to Polly's parents who lost their daughter because someone came into a place where their children is supposed to be safe, or where their children are supposed to be safe, and stole her. This man had a history of repeat, violent attacks and possible or attempted abductions. And, he's still there waiting, and they've had their entire life ruined. I'm a bit kind of over having a lot of compassion for criminals. And that's the problem, is you are now going to have cases where the state may not have all their P's and Q's in a row, their T's crossed and their I's dotted, but you have sufficiently worn out the compassion muscles of every single normal American who could maybe go with, "Oh, well, they had a hard life." Where in the world did we get off the, freedom and justice highway into criminals are the real victims? Because 'Cause I'd like to re-enter this and keep the victims of crime the actual victims. Again, a bajillion, quadrillion, 94,000 of us didn't have the June Cleaver life. We maybe had more Roseanne, maybe more Al Bundy, but we managed to control ourselves and keep, everyone okay. And I'm a whole lot irritated that we are being asked to think of the criminals in our final story. And apparently, yes, I do find it odd the days where stories will all somewhat be on the same theme. But in our last contestant for uh, May 2024, Lord Chippy awaits. The social worker, admitting to abusing a 13-year-old boy in her care multiple times and showing up on his porch with a force multiplier after his mom called the cops, apparently is going to be sentenced soon. The A 24-year-old Ohio mental health counselor, memorably arrested on her birthday last October, just 4 months after she got her social worker's license, pled guilty to multiple crimes Tuesday for abusing a 13-year-old boy she was supposed to help. Peyton Harley Shires of Mount Sterling appeared in Franklin County courtroom alongside her defense lawyer and admitted to 4 counts of unlawful conduct with a minor, offense of causing panic by showing up to the victim's home with a force multiplier while she was out on bond, claiming the mother had quote unquote ruined her life by calling the cops on her. Or ma'am, I'm just gonna throw this out here. You are a gross, disgusting pervert, and you really should maybe point the force multiplier at the man in the mirror. You know, it's a Michael Jackson song. Maybe you should think about it. Peyton, let's see here. The defendant also pled guilty to witness victim intimidation counts. Records reviewed by Law and Crime show, meaning that altogether under the plea deal, she faces up to 28 and a half years in prison when she's sentenced on June 27th. Shires, who got her social worker license in Ohio back on June 12, 2023, on to work at the National Youth Advocate Program. The defendant was reported to the Columbus Police Department in late September on the allegation that she admitted to the abuse during a phone call with the boy's mother as cops listened in. The mother said she saw messages from Shires to her son asking if the woman had seen the videos or the messages, or if those videos had been deleted. Those texts and videos were not deleted, as the Columbus Police Department found. I don't get it. You're a predator too, and I hope that we find all of the, castration stuff for you. She was a social worker, JKD Buck. Uh, She was so the boy was 13, and I don't know how she got. I do believe that she maneuvered it so that she and the victim could have a lot of one-on-one time, but I am not sure the nitty-gritty details. After Shires was arrested on her birthday, she bonded out of jail. As a condition of her release, she was ordered not to have any contact with the victim or any unsupervised contact with minors. Her bond was revoked, however, when cops said she threatened to take her own life after showing up to the victim's home with a force multiplier. Authorities said she called the boy's mother and threatened to, well, end her uh, and said that the parent had ruined her life. The mother said she saw Shires on camera sitting on their front porch with a force multiplier. Following this rearrest, Shires and the National Youth Advocate Program were hit with a civil lawsuit claiming that the organization that hired her as a social worker was negligent in its hiring and supervision of Shires. The lawsuit said while Shires was employed by the organization, the social worker, quote, engaged in an inappropriate relationship with the victim at various locations in Franklin County, Ohio, as well as other Ohio counties. The boy's mother, Jane Doe, reported inappropriate conduct to National Youth Advocate Program supervisor on September 22nd and asked that Shires be removed from plaintiff John Doe's care, but the organization failed to immediately remove her, and the inappropriate relationship continued, the court documents claimed. The group previously told Law and Crime in a statement that it was saddened by the situation involving one of their former employees and a young person served by our organization. I don't know. Y'all, I don't know. I don't know. Eh, I mean, ever since I was a young weird Mo, I have always enjoyed being a silver fox hunter. What women find attractive about a 13-year-old, nearly raising one that I have to remind to, shower and brush his teeth and, possibly use soap. I don't get it. I don't get the appeal. I have no idea. It is like I don't even understand things. But she is going to be sentenced, I hope, to a very long time, and women can be just as predatory as men. Well, I do have one last story just to uplift you. Martha Stewart is now hanging with Sesame Street puppets. So there you go. Martha Stewart and Elmo. So, we might not get that, second season of, Dark Crystal, the prequel that was actually cool on Netflix, but, we will get Martha Stewart with Elmo and Oscar and Ernie. Although where Ernie's, hetero life partner Bert is, I don't know. Yeah, I know. MG Law, when I run as president, male and female predators will get the same treatment. I'm all about equality. Oh, all of us, because we've all been subject. I will say her and Snoop Dogg is the combo that I never thought would work, but actually does. I'm just saying, this timeline may be weird, but you have to laugh at it just a little bit. It's not always fun. We do kind of look around like, what in the hell did CERN, the particle accelerator, and the Mayans being dyslexic and not telling us about 2021? But keep your smiles on. There is always something absurd to point and laugh at. And hopefully, this show does that for you guys. We can get a little bit of laughs in. I can give you some, interesting news. And let's all strive to make joining the Mile High Club an American dream again. My platform, Hand Jobs for All, and And won't you please join the Mile High Club? My youngest daughter would approve. JKD Buck. Have a lovely day. I am sending you off to Baker. I think they are redoing opening statements in the Karen Reed case. Have a lovely weekend, and I will see you guys next Monday, if I don't see you beforehand. And my show will start at 8 a.m. for the rest of the summer, and hopefully I can finagle things into actually starting at 8 a.m. like a normal person. Any hoozle, thank you for joining me this Friday and have a great day. Bye, guys.